Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun and long time no see. I know I haven't made videos in a while, for like about 2 weeks or so now, but there's various reasons why I did it. And I'm sorry I haven't been doing a video for a while, but I plan, hopefully from now on, to actually start doing some more videos, more frequently now. And that's just it. And before I start my video, I wanted to show you a new game I finally just got. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Got it from Target like a couple days ago. Haven't played it yet, but I got it on sale. It's like $37 or so. They had a sale or something. And that's a good price because the fact that Mario Galaxy 2 will not be going down in price anytime soon. You have to go take it. And another thing I wanted to show you was something I got from Kmart's. It was in layaway. My mom put it in layaway. It was a couple dollars or so. And I was going to show you yesterday that I had I had it on yesterday, and I was trying to do this video yesterday, but I kept messing up and everything and so on and so forth. So I didn't get to do the video again until today. And of course, a new T-shirt I got. Just want to show you. Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but I do like the series a little bit. I did play years ago when it was like the Sega Genesis. I played one or two of them, maybe three, over at my cousin's house. And I do have the collection on the GameCube, and I have the second one on the Virtual Console on the Wii. And that was one of the first games I ever got on the Wii Virtual Console, because, not even by choice actually, it was more of an accident, because my cousin came over, wanted to use a Wii Points card to put on, try to see if we can transfer the game from my save to his SD card. It didn't work, and I got Super Mario Bros. 1 and Donkey Kong in the end, so thank you, Andy, for that, and I'm sorry that that happened, and I thank you for it too. But on to today's video, and if you actually have read the title already, or if you, on the top or on the bottom, if you're on my home page, my YouTube page, and the featured video, if you're watching it that way, you'll know what this video is about already. And technically, today's topic is Nintendo Wii Gamers want the games, but most third parties are not delivering. And by delivering, I don't mean just not bringing games out. Either they're bringing out versions of games, like from the series, that are not full-on games, like they're totally different versions of the game, or it's like a multi-platform game that they aren't treating the right way. They always dumb down the Wii version or something like that. They make it bad. It includes all those, and I'm going to name a few off right now. And then I'll hope to put up some annotations on here for ones I forgot in the future. I'll start off with Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube years ago, back to like 2004 or so. And then it was ported over to the PS2. And then the Wii version came out like 2007 or so. And it was basically the PS2 and the PS2 and the GameCube version put together with a few extra Wii features. And it was considered the best version, and it sold pretty well. It sold really well. And you think, with through Capcom's mind, that oh, you know, this game's so marketable. This game was sold so well. We could have brought Resident Evil 5 and/or a original Resident Evil game with the Resident Evil 4 kind of a gameplay style to the Wii, and it would have sold just as well. But what did we get instead? We got Umbrella Chronicles, a light gun game on the Wii. I mean, Umbrella Chronicles wasn't bad, but it was different. And I think I heard somewhere online, I don't know if this is true or not, that if the game sold well, they'd bring out like Resident Evil 5 or a real Resident Evil game, like in another Resident Evil game, original Resident Evil game in the RE4 style. And that didn't happen because then we ended up getting Darkside Chronicles at the end of 2009. And just like Umbrella Chronicles, it was a good game, but it was different. It just wasn't the same. And now, when it comes to actually getting the Resident Evil 4 or 5 style Resident Evil game, it's on the 3DS now. And it's like they abandoned the Wii altogether. And it's just like, why? You had the market there for the for Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. You had the Wii Motion, the Wii Controller, Wii Motion Plus you could have used, and you could have just been like this. It worked really well on the RE4 Wii Edition. I'm just saying. But that was a stupid move, just saying like that. Then it comes to fighting games. The Soul Calibur franchise, Tekken, Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat. The Wii is actually a pretty good platform to put fighting games on. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, although not an actual like, you know, traditional fighting game, it is still a fighting game in the fighting genre, and it's still pretty good. TMNT Smash Up, it's just like Smash Bros, still pretty good. Not as good as Smash Bros, but still pretty good. Then we have Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and that was a pretty great fighter. And there's a few other ones, but I can't really think of them off the top of my head right now. Some on Virtual Console, and, you know, some in collections for old arcade games or so, but the Wii is a good platform for fighting games. And you expect, since it's a good platform, and the games do kind of sell pretty well, and there's a market for them on the system, you'd expect them to start supporting it more. But that didn't happen. Let's look at Soul Calibur. The GameCube got Soul Calibur too. It was multi-platform, and the Xbox and PS2 got as well. We got Link as the secret character. They got their own characters too. The original Soul Calibur is like a Dreamcast exclusive. Then number 3 was a PS2 exclusive. You would have expected when it went back to 4 that would have been a Wii, PS3, and 360 multi-platform. They dropped the Wii out though, and it just doesn't make sense. And instead of getting Soul Calibur 4, we got Soul Calibur Legends. I never played the game, and I might never play the game, but from what I heard of the game, it did kind of suck actually, and it wasn't an actual Soul Calibur game. Soul Calibur games are like, you know, fighting games, 3D fighting games, like, you know, Mortal Kombat or something like that, like when it was put in the 3D, except actually better. It was more like from what I heard, like a fighting game, like an action adventure type game, take like 3D stages, beating up monsters or something like that. I mean, like, that's not Soul Calibur. That's not Soul Calibur at all. And then when it comes to Street Fighter, the series, we didn't get Street Fighter 4 or Super Street Fighter. And the Street Fighter series has been with Nintendo for like ever, for the most part. And it's like, we didn't get one on the Wii, but yet there's a 3DS version of it coming out. And like, you guys just skipped the Wii, Capcom. This is another Resident Evil mess up they did. They totally went to the 3DS and skipped over the Wii, which is pretty stupid. It's a pretty idiotic, stupid decision on Capcom's part. 2 in a row, pretty much. They did it with Resident Evil, now they're doing it with Street Fighter. It's just like, if there's a market for it on the Wii, and you guys did Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and it did sell pretty well, wouldn't you think Street Fighter would have sold a little bit better? I'm just saying. Then there was Tekken, and people are like, but it was never on a Nintendo platform. Well, it was on the Game Boy Advance. You're a little wrong there. It was on the Game Boy Advance. And when it comes to third-party games, not first-party, second-party, but third-party games, usually they always change hands every generation sometimes. They go to different platforms. We've seen Final Fantasy on the Nintendo, then it switched to play like Sony, and then it's on Sony and Microsoft now as well, still with Nintendo. And it's just like, you would expect them to like transfer it to the Wii. It's a fighting game platform. You could sell fighting games on there, and Tekken's a pretty well-known franchise to sell on the Wii. And then there's Marvel vs. Capcom 3. If Tatsunoko vs. Capcom sold so well, you know, Capcom, how well Marvel vs. Capcom 3 would sell. They'd buy for the Marvel name, because there's a lot of superhero games that come out, and kids would buy it, and people who were a fan of Marvel overall would buy it. Not saying Tatsunoko vs. Capcom sucked or anything. It was a great fighting game. But I'm just saying, marketability, most people in America don't know about Tatsunoko. The only Tatsunoko character I really knew before the game came out was Speed Racer, who wasn't in the game. And I did kind of watch a few of the animes on YouTube, like Tekno Man, the English version Tekno Man, and I did see the English version of Gachima on the G-Force, like one episode. And if I ever can find VHS tapes or DVD collections or something on YouTube, I'll continue to watch that eventually in the future. But it's not known well in America, and I'm just saying. Since it's a fighting game, and since it's just like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, it would be like pretty much the exact same thing. And then it comes to Mortal Kombat, who pretty much, it's just like Street Fighter. It's been with Nintendo for like ever. We've seen 1, 2, and 3 on the Super Nintendo, number 4 on the Nintendo 64. We've seen 3 of them or 4 of them, I don't know how many were last generation on the GameCube, and we've seen Armageddon. Was it Armageddon or not? Armageddon, yeah, Armageddon on the Wii. But yeah, we didn't see Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe or supposedly this new Mortal Kombat 8. Will we see him on will we see that game on the 3DS? I don't know. They might pull a Capcom there with Resident Evil and like Street Fighter, pull a Capcom and put it on the 3DS. And I'm just saying, there's a marketability for fighting games on the Wii, yet these companies are not taking it. And then there's one thing people say, oh, the Wii is not powerful enough for these fighting games. You need a more powerful system. It just doesn't work. Oh, first of all, the Wii is not that weak of a system. It's stronger than all 3 systems last generation. It's not no PS3 360, but it's more powerful than people are giving it. And it still hasn't reached its full potential because people are treating it like a last generation system, which it's not. Second of all, what's power have to do with fighting games? They're fighting games. You put two people in a 3D arena like Soul Calibur or Tekken, or a 2D stage like Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom, or a mix of it like Mortal Kombat, and they fight each other. I don't see how power has to do anything. It's not like the graphics all that matters. It's like not like it takes that much power to make the graphics look good. The power of the Wii, which is still pretty powerful, made Tatsunoko vs. Capcom look good. So I can't do that to Street Fighter or Soul Calibur or Tekken or Mortal Kombat or anything. Just saying.